No, I don't.
Yeah.
I think Nick, our president, he went to one, but he's not here tonight.
I have. If you ever can go, it's so inspiring. Just to see what people are doing and just the energy of all of it, and just so many. You see all these different ideas, and it's like it gives you. It's inspiring that you can have that kind of faith in your own work. And just do it. Anyways, did you have any other questions? Or, I mean, I don't know if I'm just rambling on,
You're doing a really good job rambling, but
how do you find out about all these events? Like, how do you know about them? Because I don't know how to even, like, look it up.
This is not illustrator. Of course, nowadays, go to their website. Every state, chapter, every state, pretty much, and not just, they're in, like, 10 countries, too. I've gone to their conferences in France, determined. I want to go to France. I mean, who doesn't want to go to France? But, I went to their meetings in France because I had the opportunity to go. If you go to their website shows you what events are going on every month and in what state. And if you are, whatever state you're in, you'll find out from that. Society of Illustrators, well, you guys aren't that far from New York City. I mean, it's a train ride, right? Probably.
There's also a bus line, too, which is good.
They have I think their calendar is published. They have stuff going on all the time. Like, sketch night. There's all kinds of stuff going on. We're doing a show. They're putting the show up that we're doing on the trading cards. I think I talked to you that earlier today, or yesterday. The trading card show is going on the 4th to the 12th, and it's going to be in I can't remember what room it's going to be in. One of the rooms there. So that's and they have all kinds of events geared toward people just starting out or professional, everything in between, and that's pretty easy to find out. And then I also belong to the Graphic Artists Guild too. I mean, because you're gonna work with graphic designers too. That's your other partner when you're working in books, anyways. You go to their stuff. Lots of comic book artists too that are graphic designers, which I found out when I went. I went to one of the graphic design meetings I went to. I'm thinking, I'm going to be the only artist, and that they're all cartoonists. So that was kind of fun. So I think it's just getting out there, which ones you're inspired by, And so one thing leads to another, And it's just, especially now, you get on one mailing list and then you're on everything, It's kind of the way it goes. Yeah, and then the thing that happens too is whenever especially the Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators, they have conferences locally, nationally. There's one in New York City every year in February. I think it's February. There's one in LA every year in the summer. And those are the big ones. But every state has their own shops and their own stuff. Pennsylvania has some really good stuff going on. There's all kinds of workshops, but not just that, not just about learning about it. But the other thing is art editors and art directors come and talk at those things. And when they come and talk, they invite everyone who's participated to submit without going through the slush pile. So, which is kind of nice because, and they also will, you can sign up for them to look at your work at the conference, which is kind of cool. And it's not outrageously expensive. I mean, when I started out, it was like incredible, it's just incredible that I could send stuff. And, I sold, when I didn't know when I started that they said how hard it was to write an illustrative book if you weren't well known. It's either the artist or the writer wasn't well known. I didn't know that. And that had been kind of what people were saying. But I didn't know. And I there was a publisher who I had heard at a conference that they wanted to get involved with more books for younger kids, and they didn't have any books for younger kids yet. And I heard that, and I went home and I had a series. I had a book I had written, and I thought I'm going to write, and I did a series, and I sent it to her, and she bought it, the whole series, and it was in Well, it's just now. In fact, it just now has going out of print, and that was in print for 12 years. 12 years, that whole series, which means, which is amazing, not stay out there for maybe a year, or a couple of years. They don't stay out there that long, which means you get a royalty check twice a month, twice a year. That's the other thing, that if you negotiate your copyrights well, you'll get copyrights. So even jobs that you've done and they're out there, they're still in print, but they're out there. You're getting checks twice a year for that. If you go out and go on call your local bookstore and go do book signings at bookstores or whatever, or at schools, they sell more copies. You get more checks. It's amazing. I get, usually it's in the spring and in the fall, you get a stack of royalty checks for stuff that you haven't even worked on in years. Another part of your business, right? Not to mention that if you're doing, even if you're doing, digital, if you're working digitally or traditionally, you can still do a limited edition print of your work. And, you can sell those, you can license those, depending on what kind of contract you have. A lot of it is managing your contracts. I don't know if you guys have learned about copyright and managing your copyrights, but that's another part. Like you can sell paper book rights, paperback rights, digital rights. It's all kinds, and each piece you get something different. It sounds complicated, probably, but part of the business part is knowing how to manage your copyright. So you do one thing, and you get 10 different checks because of it, right? That's good. It's good for you, right? Yeah. So it's important to do that, and that you can hire. You can get who can help you with a lot of that stuff, but they're not going to care about it as much as you do. They're not. Well, you might get lucky. You might get like a real Hollywood type agent who's like thinks you're fantastic and everything you do is fabulous. but have lots of other people that they work with, and not that they're not going to do it. They're not going to be as passionate about it as you are. You're going to if you want to do that part yourself. I don't mind. I kind of like it because I get to in most of the publishers that I work with, I know most of the people in their accounting department, and I talk to them because if their royalty check is late, I call and talk to them, and I, double check that the percentage is, because if you sell so many books, the percentage goes up, right? Just to make sure that, and I always thank them for their help, and I have a relationship with them, and then every year you out, even if you haven't done anything with them for a long time, they still send out stuff for their catalog, and so you're talking with their marketing people. I like to have a relationship with everyone over there, and then I don't know, it just makes it more fulfilling for me personally. I don't think of it as like the bad part of the bad part of my job. And in fact, the series that I was just telling you about, the one that they bought 4-book series. It's been in print all this time. It just went out of print. In fact, they're sending me, because in my contract, I said, when it goes out of print, I want all the rights back. Everything comes back to me, and I want all the original artwork. It all comes back to me, because they kept it until the book was out of print, because I couldn't get that part. They wouldn't budge on that. But they're sending it all back to me. Now I'm talking to somebody else about making it a digital series. Because I heard about it, and it was, it's just, why not? Why not look out for your stuff? And then I have all the original artwork, which goes to my granddaughter someday. Because I'm not going to sell any of those for that series. I want to keep them all together as a group, and then she can have it, and maybe, who knows? And then if you win an award for a book, your original art goes to the roof. Sell your artwork, you save it. Unless you want to buy a house. In any case, maybe sell a piece. But always a limited edition print. So you can sell a limited edition print of some. I've sold limited edition prints just for a couple $100, but I still have the original artwork, right? I've already been paid for the book. I've already paid for hard copy. They've already paid for hard copy of that hardback copy of the book. They also got paperback rights. That's 2 separate checks. And I've sold